If you have ever felt like people were close to you only when you were giving something, doing something, fixing something, then listen carefully. Because one of the most painful awakenings in life is realizing that not everyone who smiles at you is truly standing with you. Sometimes, the moment you stop being useful, the calls stop, the messages slow down, the warmth disappears, and you sit there thinking, was it ever real? Welcome back to the Peace Whisper. And if this kind of reminder speaks to your heart, make sure you subscribe, because this channel is here to bring you clarity, comfort, and peace in a world that can feel confusing. Let me tell you something honest. Many people will love what you provide, but not who you are. They love your help, your attention, your generosity, your support. But when you need something, suddenly they are busy. And that feeling, it cuts deep. Because you start questioning yourself, am I not enough without what I give? But listen, this is not a sign that you are worthless. This is a sign that you are waking up. You are beginning to see the difference between someone who values you and someone who benefits from you. And this is something life teaches all of us, sooner or later. There is a story that happens every day. A woman is always there for everyone. She listens, she gives advice, she shows up, she sacrifices. People call her so kind, so strong, so reliable. But the day she becomes tired, the day she says I can't, the day she needs support, silence. And in that silence she realizes, they were not attached to me. They were attached to what I could do for them. And that realization hurts, but it also frees you. Because you stop chasing people who only come when they want something. You stop pouring into cups that never pour back. And you begin to understand something deeper. Not everyone is meant to stay. Some people are seasonal. They are in your life for convenience, not commitment. And this is where wisdom comes in. You do not need to become cold. You do not need to become bitter. But you do need to become aware. Because the heart was not created to be used. It was created to be honored. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some people disappear when you set a boundary? The moment you say, no, they take it personally. The moment you protect your peace, they call you selfish. Why? Because your boundary interrupts their access. And that is the truth many don't want to face. Some relationships are built on access, not love. And one of the greatest signs of maturity is learning to love people without losing yourself. You are not here to be everyone's solution. You are not here to carry those who refuse to walk. And you are not here to prove your worth through exhaustion. Your worth is not in your usefulness. Your worth is in your soul. And the people who truly care for you, they will still be there when you have nothing to offer. They will still ask about you. They will still make space for you. They will still love you for who you are, not what you do. So do not be afraid when certain people leave. Sometimes their absence is protection. Sometimes life removes them because they were draining you quietly. And yes, it hurts. But healing often begins with truth. And here is the curiosity. The most beautiful part is this. When you stop begging for shallow connections, you make room for real ones. When you stop being available for everyone, you become available for the right people. And most importantly, when you stop relying on people to fill your heart, you begin to find peace that does not depend on anyone's presence. So today, I want you to reflect. Who is in your life because they love you, and who is in your life because they need you? And if this message touched something inside you, type in the comments, I deserve real connections. Share this with someone who gives too much and feels unseen, because reminders like this can change someone's life. Thank you for being here with the Peace Whisper. Stay gentle, stay wise, and never forget, you were not created to be used. You were created to be valued. Fake friends are one of the hardest realities to accept, because the pain does not come from strangers. It comes from people who were close enough to know your life, your struggles, your kindness, and your heart. A fake friend is not always someone who openly hurts you. Often, they look supportive on the surface. They smile, they laugh with you, they stay around when everything is easy. But the difference is revealed in the moments when life becomes heavy, when you are no longer convenient, when you are no longer giving, helping, or serving their needs. Many people think a fake friend is someone who hates you. But sometimes it is someone who simply loves what you provide more than they love who you are. They enjoy your generosity, your listening ear, your constant presence, your ability to solve problems. They feel comfortable taking from you, but they do not feel responsible to give back. And because you are a caring person, you may not notice at first. You assume love is mutual. You assume loyalty is shared. You assume friendship means effort from both sides. But fake friendship is one-sided. It is built on benefit, not bond. It is built on access, not affection. These people often disappear when you need support. They become distant when you are struggling. They are silent when you are hurting. Yet they return quickly when they want something again. And each time the cycle repeats. You give, they take. You show up, they vanish. You forgive, they continue. One of the clearest signs of a fake friend is how they react when you set a boundary. The moment you say no, their kindness changes. The moment you cannot help, their tone shifts. The moment you stop overextending yourself, they act offended, not because you did something wrong, but because your boundary interrupts what they were gaining from you. A real friend respects your limits. A fake friend resents them. Fake friends also tend to compete with you quietly. They may clap for you in public, but feel uncomfortable with your growth in private. They may celebrate you, but only as long as you do not outshine them. They may offer compliments, but they carry hidden jealousy. Their support has conditions. Their happiness for you has limits. This is why discovering fake friends can feel like betrayal. You begin to question everything. Were the memories real? Were the conversations genuine? Did they ever truly care? And that confusion can lead you into self-blame, thinking you were not enough. But the truth is, you were never the problem. The problem was that they were never there for the right reasons. Life reveals people over time. Not everyone who walks beside you is meant to stay. Some people are lessons, not lifelong companions. And while it hurts, it is also a form of mercy. Because once you see clearly, you stop pouring into relationships that drain you. You stop chasing those who only come when they need something. You stop confusing familiarity with loyalty. Fake friends teach you discernment. They teach you to value sincerity over popularity. They teach you that peace is better than forced connection. And they remind you that real friendship is not about being useful. It is about being valued, even in your weakness, even in your quiet seasons. Even when you have nothing to offer, being used is one of the most emotionally exhausting experiences a person can go through, because it often happens quietly. It does not always come with loud betrayal or obvious harm. Sometimes it comes disguised as friendship, love, or closeness. You think someone cares about you, but over time you begin to realize that what they truly care about is what you can do for them. And that realization can feel deeply painful, because it makes you question your worth beyond your usefulness. Many kind-hearted people fall into this trap because they naturally give. They are helpers. They are listeners. They are the ones who show up when others are struggling. They offer support without being asked. They forgive easily. They assume people have good intentions. And because of that softness, they become easy targets for those who take without gratitude. Being used often begins with small things. Someone asks for a favor, you help. They ask again, you help again. Soon it becomes expected. Your kindness becomes a service. Your presence becomes a resource. And slowly, the relationship becomes unbalanced. You are always giving, but rarely receiving. You are always available, but they are only present when it benefits them. The hardest part is that people who use you are not always cruel. Sometimes they are simply selfish. They may not even realize how much they are taking. But the impact is the same. You feel drained. You feel unseen. You feel like your value is tied to what you provide rather than who you are. One of the clearest signs of being used is when people only reach out when they need something. They disappear during your quiet moments, but suddenly appear when they want advice, help, attention, or support. Their messages are not about you. They are about what you can offer. And when you stop giving, they stop coming. Being used can also create emotional confusion because you may mistake need for love. You may think, they rely on me, so I must matter. But reliance is not the same as care. Someone can need you without valuing you. Someone can benefit from you without respecting you. This is why being used can damage self-worth. You start believing that your role in relationships is to serve, to fix, to carry. You begin to feel guilty for resting, guilty for saying no, guilty for needing support yourself. And slowly, you lose the ability to recognize what healthy connection feels like. A healthy relationship does not require you to earn your place through constant sacrifice. Real love does not demand exhaustion. True friendship does not disappear when you are struggling. People who value you will not treat you like a tool. They will treat you like a human being with limits, emotions, and needs. Sometimes, being used is revealed when you finally set a boundary. The moment you say, I can't, their reaction exposes their intentions. If they become angry, distant, or manipulative, it was never about connection. It was about access. Real people respect your no. Users resent it. Learning that you have been used is painful, but it is also awakening. It is a moment where you begin to reclaim yourself. You begin to understand that your worth is not transactional. You are not valuable because you give. You are valuable because you exist. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to choose relationships where love flows both ways. Being used teaches you discernment. It teaches you to stop overextending for people who would not do the same for you. It teaches you that you deserve sincerity, not convenience. Boundaries are one of the most powerful forms of self-respect, yet many people struggle to set them because they fear losing others. They fear being misunderstood. They fear being called selfish. But boundaries are not about pushing people away. Boundaries are about protecting what is sacred inside you. They are about honoring your emotional space, your time, your energy, and your peace. A boundary is simply a line that says, this is where I end, and you begin. It is a way of teaching people how to treat you. Without boundaries, relationships become confusing. People take more than they should. They assume access that they have not earned. And the person who suffers most is the one who keeps giving without limits. Many kind-hearted people avoid boundaries because they want to be loved. They want to be needed. They want to keep the peace. So they say yes when they mean no. They show up when they are exhausted. They tolerate behavior that hurts them because they do not want conflict. But the truth is, the absence of boundaries does not create peace. It creates quiet resentment. When you do not set boundaries, you begin to feel drained. You begin to feel invisible. You begin to feel like your life belongs to everyone else. And over time, you may even lose touch with your own needs, because you are constantly responding to the needs of others. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors with locks. They allow the right people in and keep harmful patterns out. A healthy boundary does not destroy relationships. It reveals them. Because the people who truly care about you will respect your limits. They may not always understand immediately, but they will not punish you for protecting yourself. One of the most revealing moments in life is when you set a boundary and watch how someone reacts. If they become angry, guilt-trip you, or withdraw affection, it is often because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. Your no feels like rejection to them, not because you are wrong, but because they were comfortable with your constant availability. Boundaries are also necessary because love without limits becomes unhealthy. Giving without boundaries becomes self-neglect. Helping without boundaries becomes enabling. And kindness without boundaries becomes a doorway for being used. Setting boundaries does not mean you stop being caring. It means you stop abandoning yourself in the process of caring for others. You learn that you can be generous and still have limits. You can be supportive and still say no. You can love people and still protect your peace. A boundary can look simple. It can be saying, I need time to rest. It can be saying, I'm not comfortable with that. It can be choosing not to answer every call immediately. It can be stepping back from relationships that constantly drain you. Boundaries are not always loud. Sometimes they are quiet decisions that change your life. Many people feel guilty when they first start setting boundaries. That guilt is often a sign that you were trained to believe your needs come last. But your needs matter. Your emotions matter. Your mental well-being matters. You are not selfish for protecting yourself. You are responsible for yourself. Boundaries also create space for healthier relationships. They attract people who value mutual respect. They filter out those who only want access. They help you build connections based on sincerity, not convenience. When you set boundaries, you are telling yourself, I deserve respect. You are reminding your heart that it is not meant to be constantly overextended. You are choosing peace over people pleasing. And the more you practice boundaries, the more you realize that the right people do not leave because you have limits. The right people stay because they value you. Not just what you provide. Self-worth is one of the deepest struggles many people carry quietly. It shapes the way you love, the way you give, the way you tolerate, and the way you see yourself when no one else is watching. When self-worth is strong, you move through life with inner stability. But when self-worth is fragile, you begin to measure your value through other people's reactions, approval, and presence. Many people do not realize how often they tie their worth to usefulness. They believe they must earn love by doing more, giving more, fixing more, sacrificing more. They feel valuable when they are needed, but invisible when they are not. And this creates a painful cycle, because the moment you stop performing, you start questioning your place in people's lives. Low self-worth can make you accept relationships that drain you. It can make you stay around people who only show up when they want something. It can make you tolerate disrespect because you fear being alone. When you do not deeply believe you are worthy, you will often settle for whatever attention you can get, even if it costs you your peace. But self-worth was never meant to be something you receive from others. It is something you recognize within yourself. Your value is not something people assign to you based on what you provide. Your value is inherent. It exists before you help, before you give, before you prove anything. The world often teaches people, especially those with gentle hearts, that being good means being endlessly available, that being loved means being useful, that being accepted means never disappointing anyone. But true self-worth begins when you realize you are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to take up space without apologizing. Self-worth is also connected to how you speak to yourself. Many people carry an inner voice that is harsh, critical, and unforgiving. They replay mistakes. They compare themselves. They feel like they are never enough. But the way you treat yourself internally becomes the foundation of what you accept externally. When you believe you are not enough, you will accept less than you deserve. A person with healthy self-worth does not chase validation. They do not beg for attention. They do not shrink themselves to keep others comfortable. They understand that real love does not require self-abandonment. They know that they can be kind without being exploited. Building self-worth is not about arrogance. It is about clarity. It is about knowing your value without needing constant proof. It is about understanding that your worth is not dependent on someone staying, praising, or choosing you. Sometimes self-worth grows through painful awakenings. When people leave you the moment you stop giving, it hurts. But it also reveals something important. It shows you that your role was never meant to be someone's constant resource. It reminds you that you deserve relationships where you are loved for who you are, not what you provide. Self-worth also requires boundaries. You cannot heal your sense of value while constantly allowing people to take from you. You cannot strengthen your identity while remaining in spaces that diminish you. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. When you begin to honor your worth, you stop explaining yourself to people who do not listen. You stop chasing those who do not choose you. You stop proving yourself to those who only value you when it benefits them. And slowly something shifts. You begin to feel lighter. You begin to feel grounded. You begin to understand that you are already worthy, even in your quiet seasons, even when you have nothing to offer, even when no one is watching. Self-worth is the decision to believe that you matter, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. True connection is one of the rarest and most beautiful gifts in life. In a world where many relationships are built on convenience, attention, and benefit, genuine connection stands out like something sacred. True connection is not about how many people know your name. It is about who holds your heart with care. It is about who remains present, even when you have nothing to offer. Many people confuse being surrounded with being supported. They may have conversations, friendships, social circles, and constant interaction, yet still feel deeply alone. Because true connection is not measured by proximity, it is measured by sincerity. It is measured by emotional safety, mutual respect, and the quiet feeling that you can be yourself without fear. A true connection does not require performance. You do not have to impress, entertain, or constantly give in order to be valued. In real connection, you are allowed to exist as you are. You are allowed to have hard days. You are allowed to be silent. You are allowed to be imperfect. The relationship does not depend on what you provide, but on who you are. True connection is mutual. It is not one person carrying the weight while the other only receives. It is not one person always listening while the other never asks. It is balanced, even if not perfectly equal at every moment. Both hearts show up. Both hearts care. Both hearts make space. One of the strongest signs of true connection is consistency. People who truly value you do not disappear when life becomes inconvenient. They do not only reach out when they need something, they remain present through seasons of joy and seasons of struggle. Their care is not seasonal. Their loyalty is not conditional. True connection also includes honesty, not harshness, not judgment, but gentle truth. Real people do not flatter you for advantage. They do not pretend for comfort. They speak with sincerity because they respect the relationship, and they allow you to do the same. True connection does not require walking on eggshells. It allows room for authenticity. Another sign of true connection is emotional safety.